today's rebuild, it's Manchester United versus Tottenham, but with a twist. You see, we are only in charge of the transfers for the club, and the tactics and overall management is left to our assistant manager. Not to mention, we've made it even harder on ourselves by doing it in the European Super League database against 47 of the world's best teams. So strap yourself in for our hardest rebuild challenge yet. And here is your reminder how points are won and lost in versus rebuilds. New challenge this time, Dad.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Once again, we are Spurs versus Manchester United because that's our favourite teams. But this time round, as you can see, Dad, you are technically the manager, but you're not doing any managing in this video.
Nope.
So the responsibilities that we have only are the transfers. How we're going to do this, you kind of have to use a lot of the staff responsibilities because I know a lot of you guys are going to want to do this challenge as well. Today, we are basically only going to be doing the director of football role, signing players, selling players. Everything else is up to our assistant manager. You've actually had to change your assistant manager.
I'm not happy with this. Assistant manager was already there, so I wanted to get one in.
Exactly. So you have signed Marco Landucci to be your assistant, technically your manager for this upcoming season, and that's what we are allowed to change. If we decide he's not doing very good, or we don't like the system that they've adopted, we sack our assistant manager and we bring in a new one. Technically, he will be the manager of the club. So as I said, on staff responsibilities, as you can see, you got a lot of responsibilities, including staff, handles team selection. That's now Marco Landucci's role, as well as everything else. But what we are doing is the transfers and the transfers only. All the staff responsibilities, all the media and all the match stuff is all done by our assistant. And when we go to the tactic, you have to plug in a tactic to go forth, but we haven't changed it. This is just the generic one, positive 4-2-3-1. But when you holiday anyway, and you go on holiday, if you do not select these two buttons here, the assistant manager will decide what tactic and what team is played. That is how the Director of Football Challenge is going to be set out. You are Tottenham Hotspur, and you have already made a couple of signings, Dad.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, a couple of weaknesses I felt, so I bought two players.
Your Spurs, there's lots of weaknesses.
Come on.
I can't talk much at the minute. So transfer-wise, you've brought in fact, 3 players. Now, what we also did, I didn't even mention this. We are, of course, playing in the UEFA Super League to make this a little bit more interesting and challenging because of how many fantastic teams are in this league as well. So I think that just adds a little bit of spin to it and a bit more fun. Plus, there's a lot of money in the UEFA Super League,
which makes it a bit more fun as well.
Yeah, so that makes it a lot more entertaining, especially if you go far in the UEFA Champions Cup. Now, the link for the Super League will be at the top of the description, but just to give you an example, each round of the UEFA Champions Cup, you get more and more money. £16 million there, £32 million there, 64. Semi-final, you get 100 million, and just to get to the final is 140 million. You might even not even have to win it. But in the UEFA Super League itself, you get money every single time you win a game. So every time you win a game, you get 5 million. Draw is just 3 million. And even if you lose, you are still handed a check of £1 million for being a loser. So this is the best thing ever for Spurs. As we said, you have brought in players already. We gave ourselves £75 million transfer budget because in the first season, you don't tend to get any money. And what's the point in doing a director of football save if you have no money? You have sold a couple of players as well and spent very well. Double pretty much what the £75 million budget you had. Florentine Luis.
This was the first one I had to get in, just to strengthen my midfield. I've got a sort of like a few older players in that sort of position, so he's a nice young one. So yeah, strengthen it up.
Okay,
so I'm happy with that.
Amin Gori comes in as well.
This guy here could possibly be Son's replacement. I mean, Son's getting on a bit now, but he'll play in both positions where Son does. So where Son ever goes, I'm hoping that he'll fit into the position where Son's left.
Okay, and finally, Walter Benitez in goal.
Yeah, I needed a reserve keeper. I'm not happy with Fraser being my reserve keeper, so I've got this guy in.
All right, fair enough. I have also made one signing out of my £75 million. And I can't say I'd ever thought I'd be signing Rafinha for Manchester United, who, what a shock! Pulled some knee ligaments and is out for 3 weeks.
What happens
every time I sign a player. Of course it does in the August. But he plays naturally. The reason why I made the signing of Rafinha, one, he's 26, so I won't be having to replace him anytime soon. He plays naturally on both sides, which of course my assistant manager, Ruud van Nistelrooy, likes to play wingers. But I think he's better than what we already have there in either Diallo, Anthony. Garnacho sometimes plays on the right, but majority of the time he'll play on the left. And if we look, £75 million we brought him in for. He's already played 11 games starting and got 7 assists.
Good start.
So for me, it's been a good sign. And I think the right winger was the weakness that I had there, because it basically pits Sancho there. I'm not sure what roles Ruud van Nistelrooy will be using, but he plays a 4-3-3, which is why I put it in to see the teams that I would get. And I'm hoping he does play the likes of Garnacho, because Garnacho has that really high potential ability to be better and better. But if he doesn't, then bringing in Rafinha isn't too bad whatsoever. Let's have a quick look at my... I've actually got 2 assistants, but Ruud van Nistelrooy is the one which will be nailed in as the guy who decides everything, to be honest. And also, I didn't know his full name was Ruud Gullit. That's news to me.
Yeah.
I thought it was just rude. Well, there we go. But yeah, as you can see, he plays a 4-3-3 DM wide with an adventurous mentality. Less often pressing style down here, which I'm a little bit surprised with. I thought he was a bit of a high pressing
I did as well,
manager, assistant manager. But that's it. If we don't like what they're doing, we can change it and sack them and choose another assistant manager. So that's what we're going with. Schedule-wise, we've already played each other. It was a 2-2 draw, so we gained £3 million for that.
Yeah.
No points were given either way. I did beat Lazio 5-0 as well. We lost our first one to Stuttgart, but we drew at Eintracht Frankfurt. That's my favourite German side, in case you didn't know. But we've got some good wins as well. The Lazio 5-0, probably the highlight out of it. Leipzig 4-1 was also decent. A couple of good wins there, Inter Milan being one. Did lose to Real Madrid. Ajax, I'm a bit disappointed with, especially because Weghorst scored 2 against his former club.
Yeah.
And the away trip to Brighton was a 91st minute winner from Lewis Dunk. Annoying in
I
some
think they
ways.
beat me as well, I think.
They have indeed, yeah. I mean, spoiler alert, Dad. Let's get to it first, shall we? You also lost to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
You also beat Eintracht Frankfurt first game of the season, 5-1. Lazio do not enjoy playing either of us.
No.
4-0 against them. You beat Ajax.
So mine's looking a lot better than yours.
You have had a better season.
Yeah.
Start to the season so far. So Brighton was a 2-1 win, and as you can see so far, Dad is sat in 4th place. I'm sat down in 14th, 6 points behind him. But this is a very long and tough season.
Starting 11 then? I haven't actually seen that yet.
So you start in 11. If we did put in base, I mean, again, we don't quite know because the player roles could be different.
Yeah.
The assistant manager might pick something different, but it would look very similar to this in terms of that. But we can't do anything about it. We are not going to be changing anything. We can't. It doesn't matter.
No.
Because this is how it's going to start. We're going to go on holiday and we're going to go to the end of the season on each side, and we're going to do nothing all season. So let's see what happens in season number 1. Now, with this league obviously being as difficult as it is, the points is going to be quite low unless we start winning it, which I very much doubt we're going to be doing so if we're not even the manager. So the points this time has changed ever so slightly. Stick with me. So for a win against each other, you'll win 2 points. But if you finish higher up in the league this time round, instead of 1 point, it's now 3. Further progress in the cup competition compared to the other person is an extra 2 points. But if you win the Super League, it is 5 points. But the cup, which we consider to be the prize possession in this Super League, that's 7. Okay, first season, Dad, and you have finished higher.
Yeah.
13th place. I'm all the way down in 22nd.
I'm a little bit disappointed with that, but I'm seeing I'm higher than you. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, you had a good season. I did not. You were, I say good season. You had a better season in terms of at one point, you were second place. Yeah. Quite late on into this, and by match 30.
Totally lost it completely. What happened there?
Fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
Really did fall off a cliff. I mean, Manchester City, once they got to the top, they stayed the top. But if you look where I was, yeah, I dropped off even more. At one point, we were so close to each other as well. It makes it really annoying. But yeah, first season, the 3 points goes to you for finishing higher in the league campaign. Of course, there was no point for 2 points for beating each other because we drew. And there's only one game all season against each other. So, Dad, you finished on 81 points in total. I finished on 70, so 11 points difference. We didn't have anybody in terms of players in the statistics. This is going to be the most tricky thing. And in the cup. Did any of us get far in the cup? Well, I, unfortunately, only got to the 3rd round before being knocked out by Arsenal.
Glad
so
they
you
knocked you out,
haven't
not
got
me.
very far to beat. Yeah, your favourite club doing you a favour there because you finish in the 4th round. which means you get an extra 2 points.
Yeah, 1 place above you. Yeah, that's all right then.
An extra round ahead, which means you get an extra 2 points. So it's 5-0 already in terms of the points. What I think is quite interesting for us to look at is the tactics that our assistant manager was playing.
Yeah.
Because we're only director of football, we don't choose the tactic. This is what the tactic looks like. So if we go to your end of season game, it was a 4-1 win against Leipzig. You can see player roles and the actual formation itself. So it was a 4-2-3-1, kind of how you would like to play.
Yeah.
And to be honest, really good for the side that you would be using.
Yeah, I mean, the back five, I would say, 5 or 6. All right, yeah, I'll take that. The top 3, there's only one person I would be disappointed that it was in the team.
Richarlison. Yeah, but what you got to look at is not the players, Dad, it's the roles.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's the roles.
We're looking at the formation and the roles, not the players.
I mean, Maddison,
the formation and the roles.
Maddison playing in that role, I'd expect to be a good average. Yeah. So he's got a 9-point average there for that game. So, yeah, I'm quite happy with that team that he's played there.
A complete wing back with Porro, that suits as well.
Yeah.
Wing back with Udogie.
Yeah.
It's kind of suited for every single one other than Romero usually is a ball playing defender.
Yeah.
I think player roles, your assistant manager has got it nailed on. Whereas me, on the other hand, I'm kind of unsure on whether I should stick with Ruud van Nistelrooy because you can see already the problems that I'm having. We've got a Mazzala in the midfield. I mean, it is a 4-3-3, but no-nonsense centre-back on De Ligt. And if you look at how good De Ligt is he a no-nonsense centre-back? I don't think so. He's good enough to play as a normal centre-back, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, the game was hampered because of a red card in the 20th minute, but if you're just looking at the actual player roles, they're very similar in the last few games anyway. 2 inside forwards, and that's the reason why I bought Rafinha for an inside forward. Pressing forward in Højlund, which is okay. I just don't know whether with my Ruud van Nistelrooy as my assistant manager, having this less often press style, which doesn't quite work in Football Manager, whether I do already need to make a change.
So my biggest decision is, what player do I buy next? Your biggest decision is, do you keep him?
Yeah, I don't think I should. I think we should be looking for a new one. Now, in terms of the player statistics, Rashford was my top scorer again, which is worrying for me. Bruno Fernandes with 14 there. Rasmus Højlund got 13. I need Højlund to get better.
Yeah.
Because, or I need to sign somebody better, but I don't think I'm going to have the option to do so. Rafinha was a good signing in the end. It was a good window, good amount of goals and statistics from him. If you have a look at yourself, Dad, you had less goals, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because these two players here weren't even at your club, and they got 11 goals. So 16 and 13, and then it's 9. With Kulusevski. So defensively, you've been really good. It's just scoring goals.
When you look at Richarlison, he's only got 9 in 46 games. There's another striker, which is our newest striker, and I don't even see him on there at the moment.
Yeah, Solanke played 1 game and 3 off the bench.
Wow.
Really poor.
Stands out like a sore thumb. What sort of position I need to replace then?
Yeah, also Brennan Johnson coming off the bench 21 times and starting 12 games and getting just 1 goal and 1 assist.
Yeah,
is very poor.
Very poor, yeah.
So I think we kind of have an idea of what we need to replace. But then the question now is how. Because you have £48 million. And in this league,
that's not a lot of money.
No, it isn't.
But I've got a few players that I think is definitely going to be out of the team. I'm definitely going to be selling.
Which you could sell.
Yeah.
I might be in a bit more of a spot of bother. Because I have just £21 million. Financially, Manchester United are well and truly in the reds.
That's the good thing about this league, though, isn't it? You get rewarded for winning.
Exactly. And I haven't been.
Yeah, so...
Or you do get $1 million for losing. But it hasn't gone my way. So I think I need to be on the lookout for a brand new manager or assistant.
Massive decision.
And bring in somebody new instead of Ruud van Nistelrooy, who weirdly was a manager when we took him on. And now I'm going to have to sack him because I think that pressing style of less often, these are the things you need to think about when you're playing as a director of football instead. But how interesting. So the scores are 5-0 going into season 2. Let's see what happens. Okay, going into season number 2 then, Dad. A few players have left the club.
Yeah.
Richarlison, how you managed to persuade Real Madrid to spend £40 million on him, I'll never know.
No, I don't. I just hope it don't come back and bite me, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's some more that went out. Walter Benitez, who you signed last year. Manos Solomon, Archie Gray's gone. Brian Gill as well. Odegaard, Ben Davies. A lot going out for like that 10 to £15 million mark.
Yeah, I mean, the goalkeeper didn't want to stay. He wanted to go, so I was getting some good offers in, so I let him go as well. So
Solanke, Jed Spence, all gone for some money.
Yeah.
And you spent big as well.
Yeah.
Victor Boniface,
My main
90
striker,
million.
yeah, this is a guy I've got to get into, so hopefully winning some games. We're a bit short on strikers, so
yeah. Then we've also got Mateus Sule,
yeah,
right-hand side.
Right-hand side, yeah.
Of course, we'll play centre attack and mid as well.
Yeah, so it covers the two positions. He's a good player, yeah. Only 21 as well, so
yeah.
Can only get better.
Absolutely. Arthur Theat, 61,
yeah, I just felt
67
that.
million.
I mean, Ben Davies. I'm not a keen lover of Ben Davies anyway, so I'm just sort of like, Ben Davies is gone. This is the guy to replace him. Really, just as a backup, as a back there, and he 24 is another youngster as well. Yeah, really.
Dennis Seaman was the goalkeeper replacement.
Yeah. This is the guy who will hopefully be. You know, he can only get better as well. So
okay,
he was a good boy.
That didn't sound very confident, did it?
I could have bought other keepers, but with him being that age, I thought that's a good buy as a reserve keeper.
And again, can't do the tactic yourself, but if you did the best 11 pick, it looks like that.
Not much different from last season, really, except for
just a striker coming in.
Which puts Song across that side, so that was what I was saying when I bought him. It moves Song across, and he drops into that position. So
okay. I've actually had a lot of transfers. Considering I had no money to begin with, the wages that left the club meant I spent huge money. And £145 million went out. Anthony, Casemiro, Jadon Sancho, who was on 325k, whatever it was. Lindelof and Maguire, gone. Malacia, gone. I've also loaned out Rasmus Højlund and Amad Diallo. Try and get them better. And the players that have come in, Victor Gyökeres is the number one from Sporting.
Yeah.
Oh, how much did I spend? £86 million. He got 18 goals last season here, but he could be a big old signing.
Oh, yeah, he could, yeah.
Only got 3 goals for me in 12 so far, but let's hope it gets better. Sebastian Coates. Not bad for $4 million. I know he's a little bit slow, but he's 33. Good natural fitness. I'd argue he's actually better than Harry Maguire. So I think bringing him in while we're still developing Lenny Yoro, I think that's a good decision to make. Then I've also got Alexandra Penetra, again another centre back, but also goes at right back. This guy costs a little bit more, but he's 22 years of age, naturally plays in 2 different positions, so just give him my assistant manager options. But who is that assistant manager? We'll find out. But the main signing, Federico DiMarco, arguably the best left back in the world. Very decent player, and I spent big, £134 million. 5 assists in 12 games, though.
Good.
In the Super League. So, yes, he's a lot of money. But if he repays me with that across the whole season, then I'm absolutely fine with it, because he will bring money into the club. And as we mentioned, Ruud van Nistelrooy, it might have been time for him to go with his very blasé, lazy 4-3-3. And yes, he is gone. And I've brought in this man, Oscar Hernandez. You might be thinking, who is he? Well, he is Xavi's brother. He was the assistant manager to Xavi at Al Sadd and Barcelona. He's 47. If you look at Xavi, who's 44, there's a very big difference. He's had a much harder life having to watch his brother play football.
Yeah, definitely.
To be fair, he was a player himself, just never to bigger clubs. But the reason why I picked him, now he doesn't look amazing as an assistant manager just yet. Not a lot of options out there, I must admit. But the attacking player mentality, the more often pressing, I think that's a better option for us to go, sticking with a 4-3-3 for now. So I'm going to see how he does. I don't know how long we've signed him for. I mean, that's three years, but it's quite easy just to get rid of him if they're not enjoying it. So for this season, I'm intrigued, and we're going with the 4-3-3 style of play again. So if it was to be a 4-3-3, for some reason it would put Højlund in instead of Gyökeres. I doubt it. I very much doubt that, because Højlund's actually out on loan at Newcastle, and he scored 3 in 12 games already, so he's doing all right. But yeah, that would basically be Gyökeres up front, and that's what the team would look like. So again, Lenny Yoro in there. I mean, I don't know what that guy's smoking, but that can't be right. With Højlund out and Casemiro gone, Mainu comes in as well. That's a nice little opportunity for him this season. He didn't get to play many games last season. We've played each other already at the start of this season. It went very well. Assistant manager versus assistant manager. It went well for Manchester United. It was a nice 1-0 win. Mason Mount, 89th minute. Come on.
No.
So that's 2 points straight away, but I've had a terrible start, really. Only picked up the last 2 games there. It started off not too bad, although the loss to Inter Milan away from home. But there we go. We're scoring some goals now, so that's good. Let's have a look, Dad, at your start, because it's been slightly better. You've drew less. And obviously, although you did lose against me, I think you've won more games so far. Yeah. In the Super League, you are slightly ahead of me there. Points-wise, only by 3 points, but position, there's quite a lot in between it in this early stage.
Early days, yeah.
Very early days. Man City seem to be running away with it again.
My striker's performing. He got 9 goals
He
already.
has got
so,
9 goals already, which is scary when I'm bringing in what I thought would be a better striker, and he hasn't scored anywhere near as much. But again, you've obviously picked a good assistant manager as your director of football role. Here we go then. Season number 2. I've clawed back a couple of points already. Can I gain more points back throughout the season? Second season, I'm down in 23rd, but where are you, Dad? You're not below. Good to see Rennes went down, but 9th place, a top 10
I've improved
finish.
again, 4 places, so I'm happy with that.
Leipzig won the league.
Hey,
RB Leipzig with not just by
8 points.
Yeah, 8 points they won the league by. Mental. Real Madrid and Man City both finished on 101. You're on 89. What did I finish? 67. Oh, Gyökeres only got 18 goals.
bad season for you.
Yeah, that assistant manager might have to go. I mean, I only got £10 million on the transfer budget as well. Oh, God.
Ooh.
I can't really change too much.
I mean, I should have a little bit more because I did improve, so I must have won more games.
But then if you didn't have very good run in the cup,
Oh, yeah, that's a
that
thing
could
as well,
be
isn't
the
it?
trouble.
Yeah.
So, looking at this, Victor Boniface got 29 goals there. That's a really good signing for you.
Yes, pleased with
That
that.
was fantastic. No wonder why Leipzig won with Sesko and Openda getting 34
Yeah.
and 31. Unbelievable. They had the 2 highest average ratings as well. Those 2 strikers have done stupidly well. We're on Manchester United. How far did I get in the cup competition though? Dad's already picked up a couple of points there, or 3 points in fact, for finishing high in the league. But I had those 2 points in beating him earlier. I got to the 5th round by Napoli. Ooh, that's quite far.
Yeah.
I say it's quite far because of the teams that we come up against. It's quite far. You got to the 3rd round. Yes, so that's another couple of points. So that takes me on to 4 points this year.
Benfica
to your
beat me.
3. But yeah, you were knocked out by Benfica at that point. I was
they got
knocking out
relegated, didn't they?
Trabzonspor. They did get relegated this season, yeah. Then the 2nd round, you knocked out Nordsjælland. I knocked out Bournemouth, 2 from the league below. 4th round was when I unfortunately... I beat Brighton 4-2 there. But the 5th round is where... extra time as well against Napoli. That's disappointing. The winners, though, Sporting against Porto.
Oh, Portugal final.
And Sporting were in the 2nd tier. So, Stephen Presley. I was expecting to see Ruben Amorim, I must admit. Stephen Presley, who was a coach at Brentford for a few seasons, has just won the Super League.
Good on you.
Would he be interested in being assistant manager of
Yeah.
Manchester United, I wonder? But that is mental. So fair play to him. Sporting are champions of the UEFA Champions Cup. Basically a bigger version of the Champions League. That's a good amount of points to me, but poor performances, unfortunately. Victor Gyökeres only with 18 goals. Bruno Fernandes with 11. So is Mason Mount. It's kind of worrying, really. And as I say, I've only got £10 million in the transfer budget, which is not a lot at all. Yourself, Dad, you got 29 goals from Victor Boniface.
Yeah.
Bad injury, is it? No, just 3 weeks. James Madison with 10.
That's
Not a lot
it,
of
though,
goals
isn't it?
being scored,
No,
is
it
there?
isn't, is it? Even Song
You got
didn't do very well.
£67 million. So you have got something to play with. I think the only thing I'll be doing is getting rid of one coach and bringing another one in. But let's have a look at the points tally, shall we? Season 2 points are Omega Luke with 4 and Omega Dad with 3, meaning the total points is Omega Luke with 4 and Omega Dad with 8. Okay, so I have changed my assistant and I have brought in somebody I actually nearly went for in the first season, Moritz Volz. Kind of more of a 4-2-3-1 type of guy, which suits us. We've got Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount, who can play in behind the striker,
Yeah.
so I don't mind that at all with 2 DMs. Again, we've got Ugarte, we've got Kobe Mainu. We're all good there. Cautious mentality, pressing style is more often. Okay, it might be a better option for us. Good tactical knowledge as well.
It's almost the same as what I'm playing, isn't it, really?
Yeah, we're going to struggle here because we're not using proper managers. It's assistant managers. And I
Yeah.
think that's going to be the downside to it. But Morris Volts comes in. Let's look at the transfer window with this guy in charge. Now, I loaned out a couple of players. Lenny Yoro and Ahmed Diallo have gone out on loan for the season, but I've only brought in 1 player. I also sold Joshua Zirkzee. Of course, I didn't really have a lot of money either. Joshua Zirkzee went for £50 million. So we've got 3 strikers now with Gyökeres, Højlund, and Joshua Zirkzee. I'm not really going to end up using Zirkzee that much, so it made sense to cash in on him, and I brought in Alex Scott, who can play in 3 different positions naturally, plus he can play on the right-hand side. So not only did I steal Crystal Palace's assistant manager as my manager, but I also stole Alex Scott as well after just one good season, to be fair, in the league below. And he started well, a goal and an assist and the player of the match in 12 appearances so far. If we went by what the starting best 11 would be, I guess, in this formation, I mean, it does change this, which makes no sense. Why would you have... It would be DeMarco, wouldn't it? And why would Højlund be right back? I don't understand why it's done that. Yeah, it's, something's gone wrong there, unless he is really that dumb, because a lot of the positions are all over the place. But I think it would look something like that, with Rashford and Garnacho switching round.
Yeah.
I think that's the vibe that we're going for here at Manchester United. Dad, you've made a couple of signings?
Yes, yep.
Let's look at it. We've got Carlos Baleba coming in for 90 million.
Yeah, I just wanted to strengthen up. I felt that we were sort of weak in that sort of area if you get injuries and all that. So I was just trying to... And to be honest, it's probably the only player I could really get that was force his way into the team. Might not get into the starting lineup, but he could force his way into the team, really. So yeah, and he's only 21, so it's a good one for the future, really. So yeah, it was a bit expensive, but I think you're gonna be paying this type of money in this league. So
I mean, he played in the same league last year and had a good season, 7.09. So Carlos Baleba joins, and well, to be fair, you would have sold a couple of players. So Brennan Johnson has gone out of the club, for 26. Sacha Boey was the other one, right back.
I've only had one sort of reserve right back that I felt was good enough to get into the team. So I got this guy in, so he's actually a bit of competition for the right back position. If we get an injury there, there's 2 class as good right backs in the team then.
Yeah.
So I've just bolstered the squad really with those 2 signings really. I think.
A couple of long signings gone out, but tactically, of course, with your assistant manager, it's very similar to the role I'm now playing under Landucci, who has the 2 DMs there. It's more of an adventurous player mentality, but balanced pressing style with man marking.
Yeah.
Overall, I think he's a much better manager in terms of what we're looking at here. But, I mean, if we did go best 11, what if it's going to be weird for us as well? It's not. It's going to be very similar to how you would probably set it up, to be honest. That would be your best 11.
I mean, midfield player's gone in, so it wasn't that bad of a buy then, really, was it? So
yeah, I mean, he's left-footed, so it perfectly suits that side as well.
But that is probably the side that I would probably start with as well if I was the manager,
Yeah. Okay, so schedule-wise then, let's have a look. At the start of the season, we've played quite a lot of games, as you can see. It's been very mixed bag from the both of us, in fact. We haven't played each other. Some big losses in there, but also some big wins. PSG being one of them at the start of the season there.
Yeah, nice good result there,
so 4-0
Victor getting a few goals for me as well, which is pleasing to see. So
nice little 6-0 against Forest. So the English club's getting battering there from you. But I'm very similar in my start of the season too. I've had a couple of bad losses, a couple of bad draws. These 2 fixtures here, Frankfurt and Anderlecht, I should be winning them, and then that puts me right back up there.
Yeah.
Because without that, I'm actually in 24th, which, it's annoying because 2 wins, an extra 6 points takes me up to 25, and I'd be sat in 8th place.
Yeah.
You just think, how are you losing that? But it's very frustrating.
It's the momentum as well, isn't it? You're in that sort of you're stuck in losing a game then, so you've got to try and get into momentum and winning a few games to get the ball rolling again.
Yeah. And what we're noticing as well is a lot of the times you can see the lineups in some of these games. They are good compared to what we would be playing, but every now and then they just stick in like a random youth player, and you're like, why? But I can't really blame that on those 2 fixtures. Neither of them are bad squads that are being played. It's my 3rd manager, and we're going into the 3rd season. So let's see how this one plays out, because I've got some catching up to do. Okay, that's much better for me. 13th place to your 19th.
Awful season.
So I get a couple of points straight away from being ahead of you in the league table. So that is another 3 points, in fact, being higher in the league. But obviously you might win some back in the cup there, Dad. Finishing 19th in total, 70 points. I was there 13th with 80 points, so 10 points ahead there. Real Madrid won it. Inter Milan, Barcelona are up there. Aston Villa had a good season. So some interesting clubs going up there. I didn't know it's Fiorentina. At one point we're in 3rd place. They've dropped all the way down. So let's look at the past positions then and see where we were sort of playing out. I had a good season until really the last few games, kind of threw it away.
You were slowly improving all the way through the season, really.
Yeah, I almost had a top 10 finish there.
I just went
You ended up having a good end of the season. It could have been a lot worse.
I was going to say, it was a good job I did, really.
Yeah. But yeah, Fiorentina, they were in third place at one point,
Yeah.
dropped off massively. Real Madrid pretty much were up there the whole time alongside Barcelona. It's an El Clasico, top of the league in the Super League here in Real Madrid, with Vinicius Junior and Mbappe both getting 30 goals. But underneath is Victor Boniface.
I'm pleased with that. I didn't realise he'd be third.
In a Spurs shirt.
Yeah.
Carrying Spurs on his back.
But he was, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, we haven't seen any of our players there either. Right. What about the result between the two of us? Let's see if we can see that on here. I got 11 losses. Haven't lost to you there, Dad.
Oh, no.
17 losses. There it is.
1-0.
A 1-0. At home as well, which is another 2 points. That gets me 5 points this season. That's what I needed. Just need to be further than you in the cup.
You're right back in it, aren't you?
Oh no, that's not good. Second round by Everton.
Really
No money. We're so terrible in the
really
cups.
do with winning this.
Very, very bad in the cups. Third round.
That was teeth.
I mean, you get points.
I get points, but you get, like you say, there's no money though, is there?
No,
really?
you get an extra 2 points, but there's just
cup
no
just
money.
gives you that, good 10, 15 million more, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the rest.
Makes a difference.
I mean, your finances isn't too bad. You got 145 million. I think mine is worryingly bad. 232 million. I mean, I've got an okay budget this year. I've got 36 million pound the transfer budget, which is more than what I had last season. You got 66 million. Let's have a look then at the statistics. Goals wise, Victor Boniface 24 across the season. Kulusevski 11. Heung-min Son with 10. Sule with 10. You still expect to see more, don't you?
Yeah,
It's a
definitely,
bit weird. It's like usually we see these databases and we're like tons of goals.
Yeah.
Because we're playing 46 games a season, whatever it is.
But that's why we are in the league.
Yeah, I mean, we're not controlling these squads. That's the trouble.
No.
This is a weird I mean, Victor Gyökeres only had 7 goals this year.
He was striking. He could do the business for you.
Main striker. 31
dear.
starts. And he only had...
When you're only playing one up front as well.
Yeah.
That's the guy that's got to be
7
banging him in
goals,
for you, innit?
35 starts. That is so poor. Well, he might be gone.
How did you finish above me with that?
I have no idea. Bruno Fernandes is my top scorer with 12. And Mason Mount with 10. They probably played in the same position.
Oh my word, how did you beat me with that?
So I have no idea what's going on there. No idea what I'm going to do next season. But yeah, I've only got £36 million. Let's look at the points. Season 3 points are Omega Luke with 5 and Omega Dad with 2, meaning it's really close in the total points, with Omega Luke with 9 and Omega Dad with 10. Okay, going into season number 4, Dad, you've made a change.
Yeah, adios. Had to make a change. He wasn't good enough, so I got a different manager in and playing a different tactic. So this is a bit more of an attacking tactic, and you can see that he plays mentally as an attacking as well. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this one.
All right, so Manducci out, Traujo in, stolen from Girona. He was also at Dortmund as well, so yeah. Good assistant manager.
Yeah, he
plays
looks
a
good.
4-3-3,
Yeah.
which you do have players for. And you've picked up a couple of new ones.
Yeah.
Now, actually, you picked up quite a few. So you sold Dragerson, and we've also got £89 million going out in Vicario and Florentino Luis. Look at the guys you got coming in. Diamonde being the first.
Yeah, I just wanted to strengthen my centre backs up, so I got this guy in. Don't get much better than this sometimes, I think.
No, he's good.
Yeah.
Aaron Ramsdale.
Well, my keeper didn't want to stay, so it was a case of letting him go, and I needed a bit more money for another player. So when Ramsdale came up at that price, I thought, yeah, I've got 2 good, what I class as young keepers. I'll let them fight it out from. And I don't know what you're going to say. Go on.
I ain't saying anything.
He's a Southampton lad.
What do you know what's really funny about your 2 keepers, right? You got Aaron Ramsdale, played for Arsenal. Now, some would say Arsenal's most legendary goalkeeper is a guy called David Seaman.
Yeah.
Well, your backup is called Dennis Seaman.
Yeah.
So you basically got 2 Arsenal goalkeepers.
Yeah.
And you just agreed with it. And then Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, this is the guy I was trying to create more money for to get this guy in. He plays both flanks, and the new manager's going to be playing wingers, so this guy can either take one place completely or play in both.
Yeah, I mean, he's been off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Song's getting on now. I had a couple of offers for him, but I didn't want to turn it down because if the striker gets injured, Song fits into that position as well. So, yeah.
3 signings in the door then, and as we say, you've changed now to what would be a 4-3-3 with this. We did best pick without restriction there. I don't really know
I don't know.
I don't know what we've managed to pull off here,
Yeah.
but it's weird because I don't think that would necessarily be the case. But there we go. Anyway, let's have a look and see what I've done this transfer window. It's been quite a boring one, actually. I haven't really had a lot to do. I actually didn't sell anybody. I tried to. Rasmus Højlund refused to leave. Gyökeres had no offers in whatsoever. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here? So I brought in Ruben Neves as a free transfer, just to give me a little bit of squad depth in that midfield. I think we're kind of lacking that. I think Christian Eriksen has left either this season or last, and I haven't had any replacement, so he then came in. And then the other signing was Guirassy from Dortmund, just to give me another option. You can play on the wings and up front. He's come off the bench all 3 times. I think he's slightly better than Rasmus Højlund, to be fair, because he hasn't really developed, unfortunately. But yeah, he just didn't want to leave. Just didn't want to leave. I've transfer listed him and everything. Sticking around. Fair enough. So if we take a look at my 4-2-3-1 side that we've got, again, I don't think that would be the case. I'm pretty sure DeMarco would probably go left back, and they haven't even put in a right back, which is
worrying.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
He's going to play with 10 men this
there
season.
We go.
New tactic.
So this is kind of how I expect it to be, maybe with Ruben Neves in there instead of... Yeah, I'd say Ugarte will probably start over Kobbie Mainoo, but that's kind of what we're looking like going forward. Now, start of the season for me has been really good. We haven't seen this yet from either of us.
No.
Especially considering one of the first games I played was a loss to Ferencváros. I was like, what is going on here? But since then, I have been on a bit of a run. Yeah. And I ain't conceded a lot of goals either. So I'm kind of happy with that. We're doing quite well. And we're actually sat in 5th place. But Dad, you aren't as good in terms of where you're sat in the league, but the performances don't look as bad.
It's not that bad, no. What have I lost 3 games and drawn 3, really, out of that. So it's the drawn games that annoy you, really, I think. Yeah,
and you've also got 8 clean sheets so far this season.
And then when you look at that and how far down I am, so 8 clean sheets out of 13 games, and I'm in 14, you think?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, so 24 points there is what you've got. Liverpool running away with it a little bit. They are already 2 points ahead of Chelsea, but I'm there with 28. Could this be the first season one of us is challenging for the Super League? Let's find out. Oh, it's so close in the Super League. We're on the same points.
Yeah, my last 3 games, I chucked that away. Look.
Really bad.
1 game out of 4 I won. And if you go 83 points, get into 86, 1 more win, I'm way up the table then.
Yeah, up to 7th place there of Atalanta.
Absolutely gutted, and I've lost the point as well.
Both finish on 83. I finish higher because of that goal difference, which means it's an extra 3 points added on there, which is lovely. I needed that after being 1 point just behind. That puts me right in contention. What about the game against each other? Oh, it is as well. It's a 2-1 win for Manchester United, which is another 2 points, 5 point swing, just like that. 9th and 10th place finish in this division, though. Not bad at all, considering we're not controlling them.
Yeah, I've got to be pleased with it. I'm just disappointed. I think the players let the manager down.
But, I mean, the manager did get you to a 10th place finish.
Yeah.
So it's catch 22, I guess. Yeah. There we go. Ramsdale finished on 22 clean sheets across the season. Not bad, really. Yeah. Didn't have any of my Manchester United players there, but never really expect them to be there, if I'm honest. What about the Champions Cup? Who got the furthest? We're on Spurs. 2nd round.
This is no good. This is no good. It's killing me.
Do I pick up the extra 2 points, or do I go on and win it all and get the full 7? No, 3rd round. But I get the extra 2 points just for finishing at 1 round further.
Oh, this is a bad season for me.
Against extra time as well. We are so bad in these cups.
Yeah.
I mean, the trouble is, we haven't... Obviously, we're using an assistant manager to set the tactics up. Honestly, try it for yourself. This is really difficult. I'm shocked neither of us have been sacked so far, but there we go. Bologna beat you on penalties, Dad.
Yeah.
In this one, so... Yeah, an even closer one there in the 2nd round. I hope you're enjoying this one, though. Press that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We are so close to hitting 150k. Let's have a look at the statistics. Now, that's a lot better, Gyökeres, after a really poor season last time round. 25. Much like I couldn't sell him. Maybe it was a good thing. 12 from Bruno Fernandes as well. 12 assists from Marcus Rashford. Just not a lot of goals. I'm really
and I'm
bizarre.
I just can't believe you beat me on goal average.
I know, yeah.
Looking at you, what's mine like?
£31 million to spend next season. Dad, I mean, that's why, Dad. You only had 13 goals from Boniface, 12 from Madison, and 10 from Heung-min Son.
Yeah,
so
awful.
That's probably why.
Awful. Played more attacking football, this coach, so I thought I'd have scored more goals.
£84 million you got, though.
Well, gives me
more money.
Bit of money to do something for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what I'm quite interested in, how many games did Lamine Yamal play? Oh, he's asking. Initially, but yeah, I mean, didn't play at all.
I mean, that's the type of player you've got to be locking in. He has an half-decent season this season, and the next season he's going to be world-class.
Yeah.
Didn't lock him in, did he? Or didn't play him?
No, that's the trouble.
I
Played 3
I can get you the good players, but you've got to play them, my friend.
That's the trouble. Let's have a look at the points then as we go into the final season. Season 4 points are Omega Luke with 7 and Omega Dad with 0, meaning the total points is a complete swing around as Omega Luke is now on 16 and Omega Dad stays on 10. Alright, Dad, you decided to stay with your assistant manager.
Yep. He didn't do that. I mean,
10th place finish.
Yeah, and with the finish that I had at the end of the season, it could have been a lot better. So I've got to stick with him.
Okay, now the players that you brought in.
Yes,
we've got a fan favourite here,
Yeah,
Francesco Pio Esposito.
I didn't score a lot of goals. This guy will score your goals, whether he puts them in or no. I can't control that. So I've got 2 what I would class then world-class strikers.
Yeah.
And this guy's a youngster, so yeah, put him in, he'll score your goals.
And then we've got another Italian in Sandro Tonali. 2 Italians, both from Newcastle.
Both from Newcastle, yeah. I mean, I've bought him more for the ball-winning midfielder. I feel that we need to be a bit more stronger in midfield. He can play in both positions, the defensive midfielder or an attacking midfielder, whichever. So hopefully he'll do a job for us as well then. So he's a good, solid outfield midfielder.
Okay, so there was a couple of players that left, one of them being Arthur Theat for quite a lot of money there.
He just
53 million.
Wasn't using him, so needed the bit of money, so
cashed in.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at Manchester United. The transfers that I made going into this final season. Oh, that's actually quite a few, to be fair. Let's see. First off, I've signed an Arsenal goalkeeper in David Raya. Free transfer. My backup by India was leaving on a free contract, so I had to bring him in. Then we got Ferran Torres coming in for £65 million. A lot of money. But that's because I've cashed in on a lot of people as well. So Rasmus Højlund has left the club. £42 million. Finally decided to leave. It's about time. You should have gone last year.
You did try.
You might have had some more football. Michael Coyote also joined for £29 million. And that is because I sold another 76 million, being Amad Diallo and Rafinha. But that allowed me to also bring in Rafael Leao as my final signing of this 5-year rebuild as Director of Football of Manchester United. So what can this man do? Can he bring some more goals? Because as we've both noticed, we are lacking them. That's going to make it quite interesting then, whether he goes into the 11 or not. Does, but we don't actually know whether they ever play them anyway. So there we go. Now, schedule. At this point, I was second. And then by this point, I'm now 19th. And that just goes to show it's a very difficult Super League.
Yes.
I mean, the losses. I haven't won a game in like 7 or 8. So it's really poor. Actually, I haven't won a game in 9. Look at that. It's really poor. It's tough.
It's that getting into a run again, isn't it? You got into a rut of drawing and losing. You stay in it.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. Tactically yourself then, we think obviously if he goes for the 4-3-3, this is a similar team as what you already had going into the final season.
2 players I bought are not in that team.
Strengthening the whole squad in general. But the results, yours have been a little bit more hit and miss.
Yeah.
A lot more misses actually than hits.
I'm panicking. I mean, I look at that and think, Christ, I finally managed to beat Brighton because they're such an hard team to beat in this. But I'm just losing against all the other teams that sort of, oh no. I'm right back to where I started from, really. So
24th place now as we go on. We're about a third into the season, so this gives you an idea of how our season has started anyway compared to where we are. But there we go. Final season then, Dad. You need this season. You need to have some points.
Yeah, definitely.
You haven't played each other yet either.
I could do a really good cup run, I think, just to get... Well, I need to win something. I need to win something, really, I think. So,
Okay, let's find out. Final season then, Dad, you have finished above me in the league table.
Yeah, my first season I finished 13th, my last season I finished 13th, so it's my lucky number.
I'm down in 19th place there, not great. In fact, that 19th was where I was at the start of the season when we last looked at this. So I'm very consistent in staying bang average. 71 points there, Dad. I was 10 points off from last season. I think you had 79.
Yeah.
A good season. when you consider, obviously, we're not controlling anything.
No.
It's just frustrating when you see teams that you know you should be beating around this here, which are finishing above you.
Yeah.
But well done. Let's have a look at the past positions before we look at the results. So yours was a lot better compared to this.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
The drop off at the start.
I dropped down and managed to pull myself back up again mid-table, then sort of like got there in the end.
Yeah.
But I'm disappointed, so disappointed. Like you say, there's too many teams above us that we feel that we should be beating.
Yeah, absolutely. And goals-wise or anything like that, actually, we're not in there at all.
No.
So what about the results against each other? Well, I lost 14 games. I cannot see your name there.
I needed that.
Yes! We got it! So you got the 3 points for finishing above me, Dad, but there's 2 points won. And that is because I beat you in the fixture against
those
each other.
points as well, really.
Now, we're on Manchester United. Who got further in the cup? This might make or break who wins here. Did I win it?
No.
Second round, which is not great at all.
God, I've beaten that, haven't I?
Dad, how did you do in the cup?
Oh.
Second round. We're both as bad as each other. Bang average seasons. This is awful, isn't it? It's so challenging when you have to pick somebody to do all the tactics for you.
Yeah.
11 goals from Victor Boniface, 10 from Pio Esposito. Not a lot at all.
Terrible.
18 from Gyökeres, 17 from Rashford. Leao got 13 and 10. It's, again, really, really poor. Are you kidding me? Why is the transfer budget always good whenever I'm not then going to go on and manage? £106 million, and you got 70, which is what you've been having the whole
time.
time.
I've been averaging that, really, ain't I?
That is so frustrating. All right, let's round up the points then and see how we finish. Season 5 points are Omega Luke with 2 and Omega Dad with 3, meaning the total points are Omega Luke with 18 and Omega Dad with 13. So there we have it, Dad. 18 to 13, a 5-point gap. But I must say, neither of us really did very well in this experiment.
No. I mean, I think the whole challenge down, it could have been, I mean, this league is so good to play in and you can have so much fun in it if you do well in the cup.
Yeah, because the money comes.
Yeah, then the money comes and you can start buying the different players that sort of make a difference to your team.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's the difference, really. We were buying, in this league, average teams, average players.
Yeah. Or we could only get like one world-class player.
Yeah. Where if you do really well in the cup, do well in the league, you know, you get, was it 3 million for winning it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the money you get for getting further in the cup, we were getting second and third round. We were getting peanuts.
Peanuts. Yeah. Absolute peanuts. 15 to 20 million pound each time. It's going to give you nothing. Whereas, you even get to quarters or a semi-final, you're looking at hundreds of million.
Yeah, and it makes such a difference then when you're coming out to try and buy a player as well then, and all of a sudden you're on a roll then. So.
Yeah.
But it's still good fun though. I do like playing in that league. I love that league.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was weird not doing any of the tactics. Because
that's so frustrating, isn't it?
I haven't mentioned it yet, but the Tinker Man wasn't able to tinker. His fingers are twitching the whole time.
It's horrible because you're buying a player and you think you've got to be playing this player and you're not playing it, or you're playing a formation that you think don't play that formation, don't think, and you got nothing to do with it. You just look at the squad that you've got, you look at the formation that he's playing, and you just buy what you think is good enough, and then you're going to sit back for the rest of the season and cry.
Yeah, that's it. Give it a go yourself and let me know how you get on. It's a really hard challenge, and let me know, of course, if you have any ideas that you'd like for us to do. But why not check out this video right here, because Dad was director of football for me once while I was doing the tactics at Chelsea, and that was also a fun one. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.